Gavin Newsham gives you the lowdown on this weekend's Premier League package, with plenty to look forward to. Another weekend of Premier League action is nearly upon us. And it's set to be a cracker. Stoke host Leicester in the first of Saturday's games, with 3 p.m. kickoffs to sink your teeth into. Liverpool travel to the London Stadium in the evening kickoff, looking to inflict more pain on under-fire Slaven Bilic at West Ham. Then it's on to a truly Super Sunday. Tottenham host Crystal Palace, before Manchester City vs Arsenal and Chelsea vs Manchester United, finished off by Everton vs Watford. Check out the biggest talking points ahead of the weekend below. Here's a stat to get your weekend off to a flyer. Ready? Stoke City have never beaten Leicester City at home in the Premier League. I'll give it a minute while you pick yourself up off the floor. This could go either way, and by that we mean it could be a thriller, or it could be a stinker. We're holding out hope for the former, as Leicester have come from 2 goals down in each of the last 2 league visits to Stoke to claim a 2-2 draw. Jamie Vardy seems to like the Potters too. He's chipped in with 3 goals in his last 4 games against the Potters. Games just don't come any bigger than this. Well, they do. There's Millwall v Burton this weekend for a start, but someone's got to try and talk it up, haven't they? This is actually the first time these 2 sides have met in the league since 2001, when both sides were in the old First Division. If Huddersfield manage to win, it'll be the first time since November 1971 that they've won back-to-back home games in the top flight. Though the Baggies have the same number of points, 10, as they did at the same stage of last season, they're desperately short of a reliable striker. The fact that their 9 Premier League goals this season have been scored by 8 different players tells you all you need to know. Well, maybe not all you need to know. You've got to hand it to Rafa Benitez. No, not the key to the larder, but what he's done with Newcastle United. In fact, he's living proof that, despite what Joe Barton says, the larger gentleman can be successful in football management. And here's the thing. Rafa has managed 5 home Premier League matches with Newcastle and won the lot. In fact, he's only lost one of his last 58 home Premier League matches on a Saturday, W47, D10. That's some record. They'll need to keep Jermain Defoe quiet though. The veteran Cherries striker has notched a goal on each of his last 3 visits to St James Park, twice with Spurs and once with Sunderland. With Burnley boss Sean Dyche teetering on the brink of a move away from Turf Moor, it might be the ideal time for Southampton to tackle the challenge of a Burnley side that continued to surprise everyone. Saints have won their last 4 home matches against the Clarets in all competitions, including victories in their only 2 Premier League meetings to date. And if you're thinking of going to St. Mary's to watch this, you might be better off leaving it to the second half. After all, 87.5% of all the goals ever scored in this fixture have been scored after the break. The former Burnley star has been involved in 5 goals in 5 league matches, 4 goals, 1 assist, against the Claret since he left. "10 games in, and it already looks like another testing season for Swansea City. Only out of the bottom 3 on goal difference, they've struggled to piece together any kind of run of form, registering just 1 win in the last 7 games, W1, 5 lira, D1. A win for the Seagulls at the Liberty Stadium, meanwhile, and it'll be only the second time in their history that they've won 2 successive top-flight away games. But it won't be easy, not like playing, say, Everton. After all, Brighton have lost 4 of their last 5 games against Swansea, drawing the other one. It's also a case of who's in the England squad up against who isn't. Chelsea loanee Tammy Abraham, 4 goals, 1 assist this season, comes face to face with the defender who was scandalously overlooked by Gareth Southgate this week, Lewis Dunk. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, get over your big club bias Southgate and sort yourself and England out. You may remember this game from last season, when West Ham were battered 4-0 by Jurgen Klopp's rampant Reds in the penultimate game of the season. Will it be the same again this time around? Who knows, or dares to dream? Liverpool certainly boast the better record in the head-to-head, winning 8 of the last 12 league meetings with the Hammers taking the points in the other 4 games. For the Reds, Georginio Wijnaldum, ankle, is doubtful, as is Dejan Lovren, ability. They'll also be without Felipe Coutinho again, and that's bad news, not least because he has 3 goals and 3 assists in his last 5 games against the Hammers. Three days after one of the greatest nights in the club's history, Spurs return to Wembley again, but it may prove difficult getting themselves up after the highs they hit against Real Madrid in midweek. Luckily, it's a London derby with bottom-placed Palace making the short trip north, and they're always tasty and/or ugly. Spurs needn't worry unduly. Since Mauricio Pochettino became manager in 2014, Spurs have won more home points in London derbies than any other side, 31, W94L1. They've also won their last 4 league games against Palace, conceding only once. The visitors' only Premier League win at Tottenham came way back in November 1997, when Neil Shipperley scored the only goal. Things are going a little too well for Arsenal at the moment, so it's high time they were taken down a peg or 2. And who better to do it than the team from another galaxy, Manchester City. Yes, the Gunners come into this game unbeaten in their last 5 in all competitions, W4, D1, and have progressed into the last 32 of the Europa League without any real problems too. They've also got a very good record against their hosts here. In fact, City have only won one of their last 9 games against the Gunners, D4, 4 lira. That should change on Sunday though. Fresh from his record-breaking 178th goal for City midweek, Sergio Aguero will be looking to continue a scoring streak that's seen him plunder 5 goals in his last 7 against Arsenal. The Gunners, meanwhile, will be looking to Theo Walcott. He's scored more away goals at the Etihad Stadium than any other Arsenal player, 3. And when we say looking to him, we mean looking towards the bench, obviously. You get the sense that this might almost be a must-win game for Antonio Conte as the rumblings of discontent among Blues fans grow ever louder. The dismal display against Roma in the Champions League in midweek has compounded the misery too, and if they lose to second-placed United here they could well be 12 points adrift of leaders Man City come the end of the day. But there are shafts of light amid the gloom, not least in Chelsea's impressive home record against United in recent years. The Blues have lost just one of their last 15 home league games against the Red Devils, W9, D5. Meanwhile, United have lost more matches, 17, and conceded more goals, 66, against Chelsea than they have against any other Premier League side. Whatever happens, it's always entertaining to see Jose Mourinho return to Stamford Bridge, even more so if he loses. Is it possible for a caretaker manager to be sacked? Or do they just stand aside? It's 3 games and 3 defeats for David Unsworth to date, a record which makes Ronald Koeman look like Pep Guardiola. The Toffees will be hoping Watford's mini-wobble develops still further. They've suffered back-to-back defeats against Chelsea and Stoke, and Marco Silva needs to arrest the dip, not so much in form, but certainly in results. Will they do it at Goodison? Well, Everton have lost only one of their 8 Premier League meetings with Watford, W5, D2, with that defeat coming at Vicarage Road last season. Factor in Watford's record of only 1 point from their last 10 visits to Goodison, D1, 9 lira, and it doesn't look good for the Hornets. But then you remember they're playing Everton,